If your disc brake sounds like this, then you should set them up correctly. Hey guys, and welcome to another video from 4Freeskier. Today I'm going to show you how to set up your disc brakes correctly, because rubbing disc brakes are the worst. First of all, let's take a closer look to the disc brake. So first of all, I will show you how these brake calipers work. Brake calipers have these long holes here. They're not round, they're like stretched out, and that is because if we bolt them in, we can still move the caliper in this direction or outwards so that we can set them up perfectly to the disc. So first of all, if you work with disc brakes, always make sure not to touch the discs and not to touch the brake pads on the inside, because you have some oil and grease on your hands, and if they end up on your disc brake system, then it could be that your brake is not functioning right or that it's squeaking all the time, and we don't want that, of course. So when we start, first of all, we have to loosen these two bolts. Usually we have to use a 5mm Allen key for this, but it could be that your system uses a different size. So just take the Allen key and open both bolts. Perfect. And now make sure that these two bolts are that loose that you can push your brake caliper to this or the other side so that it's free here. And the first method we are going to try is really easy. A lot of times it works, but sometimes it doesn't, but you should always give it a try. And how it works is you just make sure that your caliper is free here, and then you just press the rear brake. Because if I press the brake lever, these pistons come out and they should line up perfectly with your disc here. So just press the lever and then use your Allen key to tighten up these bolts. And the most important thing is that while you tighten these up, the brake has to be pressed. You always have to put pressure on the brake lever, put really hard pressure on them, and now we can release the brake lever and hope that this system is perfectly lined up. We can check it here, and as you can hear, there's no rubbing in the brake. So this worked out perfectly, but a lot of times, especially if you have cheaper brakes, this method doesn't work. So I'm going to show you how you do it if this method doesn't work. So for the other method, all we need is a lamp, because we will place this lamp just right under the caliper. So if we look down from top on the caliper, this light should shine through the brake system and we can see slits on both sides of the disc brake, and that's how we can line up the caliper way easier, because if we don't have this light, then there isn't that much contrast here to look at, and the lamp just makes everything way easier. Because if you look down on the caliper right now, you can see the two slits on the left and on the right side of the disc, and that's exactly what you want. So let's pretend that our disc brake was off. So let's see. Here you can see that there's only a slit on the right side but not on the left side. So what I do now is I loosen up one of those bolts quite a lot, and the other bolt I loosen up just a little bit so that I can move the caliper around this bolt. You can see that? So what I'm going to do is I set up the caliper that it's right on the bottom side, just like that. That looks perfect. Then I tighten up this bolt down here, because this side here should be set up correctly right now. But don't tighten it too hard, just a little bit. Then open the upper bolt and adjust the brake caliper so that you can see the slit on the upper side as well. Always try to adjust your angle a little bit, because right now you can only see the slits right here, but up there it's not that good. So try to adjust your angle of view. This looks good. So now we can adjust the upper side right here and adjust it. We have slits on both sides just like that. And now tighten up both bolts, but be careful, don't tighten one at one time, but tighten one just a little bit, then tighten the other a little bit more, and so on, because if you tighten just one, then the momentum you get in there could transfer to the whole caliper and your whole caliper could go off again. And now just check this out. This looks perfect. So usually that's how you should fix the problem. Now that your brake system is perfectly aligned and these bolts are tightened up, you should tighten them up with a torque wrench, because there's a specific torque for your specific caliper. Just look that up, it should be easy to find, because the last thing you want is that this comes loose. And always a good tip is, if you tighten these up again, always press the brake lever, because with that it shouldn't be easy to transfer the momentum from the screw on the caliper, and then your caliper should still be aligned. So there we go, and there we go, and that's it. If you were not able to set up your disc brake right with this method, then there could be one last problem, and that would be that your pistons are way too far out and that there's just no play between the brake pads and the disc rotor. So if that's the case, then you have to push back those pistons and set the whole brake up again. But that's for another video. You always have to do this if you change the brake pads of your bike, and this video should come up soon, so just stay tuned and then you know how to do it. So there you go, that should be it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did so, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any more questions, then just leave a comment down below, and please subscribe to the channel, because there's loads and loads of stuff like this coming up. For example, how to change your brake pads or how to change your disc rotor, and so on and so on. Loads of mechanical stuff about the bike. So just make sure to subscribe, and I hope we see each other in the next video for Free Skier. See you then. Bye guys.